What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, Chad and Us Potential. Just finished up some training this morning, right? And wanted to talk about what it is I'm eating right now, because I really haven't shown y'all food too much, right? Usually it's training or just sit down just talking about the nutrition, but let's dive into a little bit more. So I do most of my weightlifting, my actual training for in the morning between like 4 to 5:30. I like to do that in the morning more so, but not because it's convenient, but more so because there's less people in the gym. I can get to the machines, the equipment, the barbells, everything I need. There's just relatively less people in the gym. I'm able to really focus. Then I'll go back after work during the afternoon and I will do cardio right now. I'm doing 2 sessions of cardio, eating 2,500 calories, losing weight. And so let's show you guys some of the food I'm eating. So the first thing I'm doing here, so I just got some whole eggs, right? And one of the things you can do to really cut the weight down pretty quickly, depending on how you start this out, is I usually in the time when I'm trying to put on weight and get muscle size and stuff like that, I will actually use butter in the pan. But when I'm trying to cut weight, and for actually just overall health reasons, I'm probably going to keep switching to avocado oil. So it's got a pretty good burn rate as far as like the temp, so it doesn't burn super low temperature. It's a lot healthier for you than some of the other oils. And then I usually get the spray, just that way it's just the minimum amount I need to get the pan lubricated, so that way the eggs aren't going to stick, right? So it's just a couple sprays and we're cooking. So that's one thing. So I cook the eggs. Avocado oil is what I use for the base. I don't use butter, but if I do use butter, it would be whole real butter, not the fake stuff, right? Next, I have the keto bread here. So just a lot like a light toast, a little crunch to it, and that's going to be this right here. So there's 35 calories, and there's actually a pretty decent amount of protein in it. I mean, 10 grams of, I think it's like 10 grams of protein, and I can't remember if it's 2 or 4 slices. I'll put the macros up and the calories on the screen here. But this is actually my fourth, if you count these two, that's my fourth set, or fourth, I can't talk. That is 4 slices I've actually had, because I had 2 before the gym. So I usually get 2 of these. I'll toast them up a little bit more. First thing when I get up in the morning, I come here, I throw them in the toaster, and then I'll do the 2 of these with enough honey to make up to about 60 grams of carbs. And I'm getting up at 3:30. Eat that first thing in the morning, right after I get ready for the morning. If I had to weigh myself, I'll weigh myself real quick early in the morning. Come in here, throw it on the scale, and then boom, throw some honey on it, get it down, get to the gym, we start working out, right? So I can get the carbohydrates in, and this is I put this through a little baggie on it so it doesn't get all nasty from the honey, but on where I set it down. But real honey, and if you've not used honey in your diet, I recommend it. It's pretty good, especially if you're timing it around your lifts, right, or around your training. So I only do like fast carbohydrates like that when I'm about to go train. So whether it be cardio or weightlifting, I want to use the quick carbohydrates relatively smart, right? I don't want to just throw them anywhere. So that'll be, like I said, 2 of these in the morning, enough honey to make 60 grams of carbs, 3 eggs in the morning, then it'll be just some Greek yogurt. This is actually 2 servings of it, and that'll be just the Kroger brand, the non-fat 17 gram, 100 calories at 17 grams of protein. I mean, this is literally just like liquid protein. I mean, you can't beat that, and it's got really good probiotics and stuff for your gut health, right? And that will make up breakfast, and then we'll fast forward to the third meal of the day, which would be just rice cakes, like 1 rice cake and a protein shake. Get 20 grams of protein in, and I like to have some carbohydrate to go with it. just to kind of like really get the full effect of having the quicker energy during the, to kind of get that boost for blood sugar. And then I want to have the protein kind of just consistently throughout the day. And I know a lot of people say that you can't change your metabolism by eating more meals throughout the day, but I personally believe that you get a consistent energy level whenever you eat, smaller meals, like 5 meals spaced out. I think that makes a huge difference in overall satiety and digestion and just overall just health, right? Instead of having huge spikes, we're eating these huge meals or eating one huge meal and then just coasting the rest of the day. I like to have that 200 grams of protein kind of relatively spread out. And I mean, people say all the time that meal timing is not that important, but I would tend to disagree, especially with carbohydrates specifically. There's a reason that they have carb powders, right, and that they work really well. Like having quick, accessible glycogen get stored into the muscle for immediate use in the gym is huge. So if we can do the same thing in the gym, why not use the smarter choices of carbohydrates to have that consistent energy, so that way we are having energy throughout the entire day instead of crashing and then having this roller coaster, right? And so I'm gonna show you guys what I have for lunch, and then I'll just cut out me walking in between real quick. Be right back. All right, and we're back. Okay, so I'm not a very, what you would call, picky eater. I'm not super concerned with having different foods to eat every single day, every single week. I'll eat the same thing for a few months and then I might change it up or I might not. So I like to keep things as consistent with variables as possible, so that way it just makes it easier on me and it's less time in the kitchen, right? So let's show you what I got. So this right here is what we're cooking with. Pun intended. Okay, so this is 93% lean beef. This is 170 grams of lean beef, 150 grams of russet roasted potatoes. And then I just got some carrots here. This is like 15, 20 carrots. And I just throw in a little bit of ranch. This is 30 mils of ranch. And that will be what you would consider like the fourth refeed of the day, right? So you'll notice that my bigger meals, I still have like 3. So you'll notice that I still have like relatively 3 larger meals, because this is considered, like this right here is the second meal after the keto bread with honey. Then I have a rice cake and protein at around 10:30, we'll say. Like 12 to 1 o'clock, whenever I can eat lunch, I'll eat this. Hopefully it's between 12 and 1. Then I'll go back again for another rice cake and another protein shake, just 1 scoop each. So around that 2 to 3 time frame, 2 or 3 o'clock. And then I'll eat something similar to this again, but it might be fish or it'll be salmon. So I like these cod, swahi, 93% lean beef, chicken, grilled chicken, something like that, baked chicken. The meat will kind of change. I like to keep the potatoes in if I can, and then I'll just rotate through the vegetables. So for a few days I might eat carrots, and then in a few more days I'll probably go to asparagus, or I'll go to green beans or whatever, and I'll get some fruit in too. So like usually I'll eat the fruit sometime in the middle of the day as well. I was eating strawberries and blackberries last week, and this week I just didn't have any fruit included in the meal plan. Then I'll have, like I said, that'll be like my 5th meal for the day, and I might have, if I have any more calories, I'll just kind of backfill with another healthier option. Maybe some rice cakes, or I might have something sweet. If I have enough room for it, I might even have like an Oreo. So, 2 or 3 Oreos. It's not like it's the end of the world to have some nice stuff when you can, as long as it makes sense and it's included in your meal planning, right? So I don't tend to like to include processed foods, but also I don't have a problem with understanding that giving yourself a little bit of break inside of the diet will allow you to stay more consistent, right? So we don't want to get so uptight with it that we feel like we're just losing control of an enjoyment of the food. So this is what I'll eat roughly in a day. That comes up to about 2,500 calories. And that's pretty good fuel. I mean, I'm eating roughly like right now about, let's say 300 grams of carbs. And I feel like they're getting used pretty good. You know what I mean? Like feeling pretty full. And this is me after a back day, like no arm pump, no chest pump, no shoulder pump. workouts are going pretty well, holding on to strength. Don't overcomplicate it. I would say it depends on the person. Like some people can't eat the same food, twice in a day, or the same thing in the entire week. So that's when you do your meal planning, when you're going to go cook for the week. You may spend more time cooking than I do, because I'll cook like 3 pounds to 5 pounds of this. You know what I mean? Or I'll cook, you know, two entire slabs of salmon, and or 2-3 racks of chicken breast at one go. So I don't like to spend so much time cooking, because for me, the way I see it is that this is all fuel for me to use in the gym. And so while I do mind like having nice things in my diet, I'm not as far as some people will be when it comes to the scale of like needing it to taste really good, or anything like that. I like to see it as just, let's get it in, enjoy it. I make it, work for what I need, and then I adjust from there. And you can tweak it as you like. Like for me, this is like my dessert, or whatever you want to call it, my sweet tooth for the day. I need to get in, It's because if you put some of that on some keto bread, oh, especially first thing when I wake up, like you're kind of hungry, you're flat, you're low energy, you're looking pretty good in the morning, but you're like, God, like I got to do a whole nother day of dieting, or, stay on this nutrition plan. Well, I pop 2 of these little suckers in the toaster, and I get in a good amount of honey in the morning. I'm like, okay, like I can literally feel the carbohydrates being pulled into the body, right? Like they're digesting, and I can feel the energy going literally through my body. And with the sweetness of it, it kind of makes me feel like I'm not losing out on anything, right? Because to me, honey, I've always loved honey, but it replaces a lot of that processed stuff, like the Oreos, or chips and fast food and stuff like that, or ice cream or cookies, or whatever it is is your weakness. With honey, it's got a lot of nutrients in it. It's not just a empty sugar, like table sugar, and it also has a lot more of health benefits than if you compared it to just regular, simple carbohydrates. So I think honey is probably the most underlooked, simple, digestible carbohydrate that there is, because it's one of the few that's truly packed with something besides just simply carbs. So that's why I like to use it when I can. Eventually, it'll get to the point where maybe I'll have to drop, a slice of this bread, or maybe I'll have to take the honey back. But if I can take the carbs and put them mainly around the training and the quick digestible carbs, I'm going to do that. So, and I think that honestly, this is going to be, pretty cheap, even though honey's not, cheap if you get good honey. But if you look at carb powders and stuff like that, I think they're really beneficial. I would use carb powders probably more when I'm trying to put on weight, because it'd be very easy to get in a ton of carbs, which is going to help you put on size, right? So honey's a little bit different, and you can kind of mix carb powders with other foods and stuff, but honey you can put on bread, you can put it on in your yogurt. It's just very easy to just slide it into the diet and get those extra carbohydrates, but not overdoing it, right? So 300 grams of carbs right now. Like I said, I have it on the screen. 200 to 230 grams of protein, and I'm roughly keeping around 40 to 60 grams of fat. And that's maintaining a pretty good overall performance in the gym. I'm seeing the weight loss happening. I'm seeing the recomp of the body. Right now, I think I would be what you consider to be in that weird soft phase, right? So like I'm not as big as what I normally am. At like 230, full of carbs, coming up in weight, hitting heavy weight, ton of water. And I'm not what you would consider lean, especially by media standards. Like in real life, I think I'm relatively good shape compared to the majority of people you would see in the gym that aren't trying to get into like bodybuilding, or they're just coming into the gym working out for general health. Like people would say like I'm in good shape and good health, right? But I'm not lean by social media and bodybuilding standards. So I'm like in this weird soft stage where like I do have like, muscle development, but it's like, where's the fullness, and then where's the separation, right? It's not truly there yet. And so I know it's part of it, and you have to kind of get through this phase. So don't get too focused on it. And I just wanted to break this down real quick for you guys.